Working security at the malls seemed like easy money. 12 hours of walking empty corridors, checking locks, and watching surveillance monitors. What could go wrong? That was before I met Jessica. She worked at the toy store on the second floor, Wonderworld Collectibles. I'd see her restocking shelves during my rounds, always arranging these weird, rabbit-like figures with bulging eyes and sharp teeth. Labubu, she called them. Every night, she'd stay late, meticulously positioning each one like they were precious artifacts. They're not just toys, she told me one evening as I passed by. They're companions. Each one has its own personality, its own needs. I laughed it off, right? Sure. Just don't let them escape. Her smile faded instantly. Don't mock them, Marcus. They remember everything. 3 weeks later, Jessica stopped showing up. Her manager said she'd been fired for erratic behavior. Customers complained she'd follow them around the store, whispering about how the Labubus chose certain people. The final straw was when she locked herself in the storage room with the entire Labubu collection, talking to them for hours. But here's the thing, the toys didn't get removed. Management said they were company property and would be redistributed later. So they just sat there, dozens of them, staring out from darkened display cases with those unnaturally wide eyes. That's when my nights became hell. It started with the cameras. Every morning, I'd review the footage from the toy store, and the Labubu figures would be in different positions. Not dramatically, just slightly turned, as if they'd been watching something move through the store. I convinced myself it was vibrations from the HVAC system. Then came the sounds, scratching, like tiny claws on glass. It would echo through the empty mall around 3 a.m., always coming from the toy store. When I'd investigate, I'd find fresh scratch marks on the inside of the display cases, as if something had been trying to claw its way out. Last Tuesday, I found a note slipped under the security office door, written in Jessica's handwriting. They miss you, Marcus. They want to play. I should have quit then. But I needed the job, so I installed my own camera in the toy store, hidden behind a display of board games. What I captured that night still makes my hands shake. At exactly 2:47 a.m., the Labubu figures began to move, not falling or sliding, moving, their heads turned in unison toward my hidden camera. Their plastic mouths seemed to stretch wider, revealing more of those needle-sharp teeth. And then, they started walking, dozens of them, marching across the shelves in perfect formation, gathering at the front of the store, facing the security office, facing me. I ran home and called in sick for a week. When I finally returned, I found my locker had been broken into. Nothing was stolen, but someone had left something behind. A single black Labubu figure with red eyes, sitting on top of my uniform. Around its neck was a tiny noose made from Jessica's hair. I quit that night, but it's been 3 months now, and that Labubu figure keeps appearing in my apartment, in my refrigerator, on my pillow, in my shower. Each time, it's in a different position, like it's been watching me, learning my routines. And every night at 2:47 a.m., I hear scratching at my bedroom door. Jessica was right, they remember everything. When my Aunt Delilah died, she left me her house and everything in it. I'd always thought she was eccentric. She never married, rarely left her home, and had this obsession with collecting designer toys. I figured I'd sell the house, donate her junk to charity, and move on with my life. I was wrong about the junk part. The house was a shrine to Labubu figures, hundreds of them. They filled every room, arranged on custom shelves that covered the walls from floor to ceiling. Each one was different, some smiling, others snarling, in every color imaginable. The living room had what looked like a throne made entirely of Labubu boxes, with the largest figure nearly 2 feet tall, sitting in the center. In Aunt Delilah's bedroom, I found her journal. The entries became increasingly disturbing as I read. The children spoke to me again last night. They're hungry. They want fresh eyes to see through, fresh voices to speak with. I understand now why they chose me. I was always alone, always searching for family. They are my family now. The ritual is almost complete. Soon, I'll join them forever. But I need to find someone to take my place, someone to care for them when I'm gone. The final entry was dated just 2 days before her death. I've made my choice. My nephew David will inherit everything. He'll understand once they start speaking to him. He'll learn to love them as I have. And when his time comes, he'll choose the next guardian. The cycle continues. I should have burned the whole place down right then. Instead, I decided to spend the night and start packing in the morning. Biggest mistake of my life. Around midnight, I woke to the sound of footsteps. Tiny, pattering footsteps coming from every direction. I grabbed my phone's flashlight and crept out of the bedroom. The hallway was alive with movement. Labubu figures were everywhere. On the floor, climbing the walls, hanging from the ceiling by their ears. They moved in complete silence, except for the soft sound of plastic feet on hardwood. They were all heading toward the living room. I followed them, my heart hammering in my chest. In the living room, they'd formed a perfect circle around the throne. The giant Labubu figure was no longer sitting. It was standing, arms outstretched, as if conducting an orchestra. Its plastic mouth was moving, though no sound came out. But then I heard something else. A voice. Aunt Delilah's voice, coming from the figure's motionless lips. "Welcome home, David. We've been waiting for you." I bolted for the front door, but it wouldn't budge. The windows were sealed shut. Behind me, hundreds of plastic feet began marching in my direction. I ran upstairs and locked myself in the bathroom, calling 911 with shaking fingers. 911, what's your emergency? They're alive. The toys are alive. They're trying to. The line went dead. My phone screen showed no signal, no battery, nothing, just black. For hours, I listened to them scratching at the bathroom door. Whispers and languages I didn't recognize. And underneath it all, Aunt Delilah's voice, patient and loving. "Don't fight it, David. It's easier if you don't fight it. Just open the door. Let us love you." When morning came, everything was silent. I carefully opened the bathroom door to find the house exactly as I'd left it the day before. Every Labubu figure was back in its place, motionless and innocent looking. I called the moving company and had everything hauled away to storage. I sold the house and moved across the country. I thought I was free, but last night, I came home to find a package on my doorstep. No return address. Inside was the giant Labubu figure from Aunt Delilah's throne, along with a note in my own handwriting. Handwriting I don't remember producing. "The guardianship has been transferred. Welcome to the family." It's sitting on my kitchen table now, staring at me as I write this. Its mouth seems wider than before, and I swear I can see something moving behind its plastic eyes. I can hear Aunt Delilah's voice getting stronger. She's teaching me the rules, showing me what needs to be done. Soon, I'll understand why she chose me. Soon, I'll choose someone too. My girlfriend Riley had always been into weird stuff. Vintage horror movies, taxidermy, oddities from estate sales. So when she discovered Labubu figures, I wasn't surprised. What surprised me was how quickly the collecting became an addiction. It started with one. A purple one she found at a comic convention. Within a week, she'd ordered 5 more online. By the end of the month, our shared apartment looked like a Labubu museum. She'd wake up at dawn to check resale sites, spend her lunch breaks hunting through toy stores, and drain her savings account for rare variants. "Just one more," she'd say every time a package arrived. "This is the last one, I promise." But it was never the last one. The turning point came when she started talking to them. Not about them, to them. I'd hear her having full conversations in the bedroom, asking about their day, apologizing if she couldn't afford a new shelf for the collection, promising to find them friends. Riley, their toys. I said, one evening after watching her feed, a Labubu figure, a spoonful of ice cream. "They can't eat. They can't talk." She looked at me like I'd slapped her. "Don't say that in front of them. You'll hurt their feelings. They don't have feelings." That's when she threw the spoon at my face. Get out, you're stressing them out." I slept on the couch that night. When I woke up, every Labubu figure in the apartment had been turned to face me. Hundreds of plastic eyes, all staring down at me with expressions that seemed more malevolent than cute. Riley stood in the kitchen doorway, still in her pajamas, smiling. "They forgive you, but they want an apology." "I'm not apologizing to toys, Riley. You need help." Her smile vanished. "They're not toys, Jason. They're my children." That afternoon, I came home early to find Riley in the bedroom, sitting in a circle of Labubu figures, holding a kitchen knife to her wrist. Blood was already dripping onto the carpet. "Riley, what are you doing?" She looked up at me with dreamy, unfocused eyes. "They're hungry, Jason. They need to feed. Just a little bit, just enough to help them grow." I tackled her, wrestling the knife away. As we struggled, we knocked over several shelves. Labubu figures went flying, some cracking when they hit the floor. Riley screamed like I was murdering her children. "You killed them. You killed my babies." She attacked me with her fingernails, clawing at my face and arms. I had to physically restrain her while calling 911. The paramedics sedated her, and she was admitted for a 72-hour psychiatric hold. While she was gone, I boxed up every single Labubu figure and drove them to the city dump. I watched the garbage truck crush them into pieces, telling myself this was for Riley's own good. I was wrong. When Riley came home, she found the empty shelves and completely lost it. She tore the apartment apart looking for them, sobbing and screaming that I committed murder. Then she disappeared. For 3 days, I searched everywhere. I called her friends, her family, the police. Finally, I got a call from a security guard at the city dump. They'd found her there, digging through garbage with her bare hands, covered in filth and blood, clutching broken pieces of plastic. "I can fix them," she kept repeating as the ambulance took her away. "I can put them back together. They'll forgive me. They'll come back." She's been in a psychiatric facility for 2 months now. The doctors say she has severe attachment disorder triggered by childhood trauma. They're trying different medications, different therapies, but nothing works, because the Labubus aren't really gone. I found that out last week when I came home to find my apartment filled with them again. Not the same ones. I'd watched those get destroyed. These were different, newer, hundreds of them, arranged exactly as Riley had left them. In the center of the collection was a note in her handwriting. "They came back for me, Jason. They always come back. They forgive you, but only if you bring me home. Only if you let us be a family again." I drove to the hospital, planning to show the doctors the note, to prove that someone was breaking into my apartment. But when I got there, Riley was in her room, sedated and asleep. She'd been unconscious for hours. The nurses confirmed she couldn't have left the building, but when I got back to my apartment, there was a new note. "Physical distance means nothing to us, Jason. We exist wherever love calls us. Riley's love. Bring her home, or we'll bring her here ourselves." I'm writing this from a hotel room. I can't go back to that apartment. I can't bring Riley home, but I can hear her voice in my head now, whispering, pleading. "They just want to be loved. Jason, why can't you love them too?" I'm starting to think maybe I could. Maybe 1 or 2 wouldn't hurt. Maybe Riley was right about them being special, being alive. Maybe I should visit that toy store downtown, just to look, just to see if any of them choose me. If you're reading this and you collect Labubu figures, please be careful. Some obsessions are more dangerous than others. And some toys collect you back.